In this episode, I sail onwards from my first anchorage in the Bahamas westward to Hog Key in the Ragged Islands of the Bahamas. It's there that I officially crossed my outbound path from almost 16 years ago to complete my circumnavigation. I then sailed to Florida and on to Georgia with fantastic crew. But upon arrival in Brunswick, Georgia, a major change comes into my life. I go where my heart leads me. What else can I do?
Sailing with men. Sometimes you just gotta listen to this shit.
We're on our way to the Ragged Islands, which means that I will complete my circumnavigation there. And it's my birthday. What are you guys doing?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
It's my
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
I'm proud to say that since leaving Grenada, every single holiday has been spent at sea. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, and now my birthday.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't want to lose the boat like 500 feet from the finish point. These coral heads are pretty intimidating after not seeing them for like 15 years. I was here 15 years, 7 months, and 2 weeks ago to the day. And it's just as intimidating now as it was back then. You would think in 15 years I'd have some cojones on me, but I don't. Still a win. Still a win. I was scared of those brown patches back then, and I'm scared of them now. Really, I'd hate to lose the boat like feet from the finish of my circumnavigation, so I'm going very slowly. So this is the spot right here. I'm gonna drop the anchor right here. It's where I was. This is the final bit, final day, the final hour, the final minute, the final second. I'm here. I did it. Who would have thunk it? Thank you to every one of you who got me here, especially Patrick and especially Michael. Well, in the tradition, in honor of Patrick, whenever he got to a new country, whenever he got to a new wonderful place, he would always have a shot of Kahlua with his crew. So now we're his crew, or something like that. Cheers.
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 Yes. All right.
Thank you. Ooh, I can't drink that all in one go. We're kind of not very heavyweights. He is. He drank the whole. Oh no, you didn't drink the whole thing. I guess when we arrived, I so much wanted to be by myself, perhaps with Patrick for a little while. If he knows what I've just done, I'm not even sure what he would think. Perhaps that I'm a fool for carrying on with so many bad things that could have happened. Perhaps impressed. Perhaps not surprised at all. But more importantly, I've finished something in my life. Something big and important that I'll always feel empowered and proud remembering. When I think back now, months later, I swell up with pride remembering my final struggle to the finish line. I cry every single time. Suffering. This is how I torture my crew. This is called a formal way of torturing crew on a sailboat. They're stuck on the boat. They're desperate to get off. So they must fix the engine if they want to get off.
Yeah. We dream of being at the beach.
In the last anchorage, I noticed that suddenly no water was coming out of the outboard, so I knew the spare impeller I had on board all these years would be put to use. The boys got right to work. They were eager to get to shore, and I was eager to have my time. The impeller, which Josh is in the process of doing.
Right, and this spins. All right.
You know, many women and men have criticized me for wanting the most to have men aboard. I'm sorry if this is not politically correct, but this is why. Most of us women sadly grow up with a different set of skill sets being put upon us. I have learned to do some things on my engine, and as the boys admit, they've never done this either. But because of the things they did learn by osmosis growing up, they were able to get this apart and back together again. There are many women who could do it too, and probably do it better, but I've not yet found those women to sail with. Boys typically, but not always, have skills that help in this department.
Good sign.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Oh, that's a bad sign, guys.
That's a great sign. That's a great sign.
Well, that's the problem, but the question is we got to get those veins out.
They're right here. They're all.
Oh, are they here? Oh, beautiful. Right there, eh? And they have no leftover parts. There were still some existing issues that threatened to rip up the water pump impeller again, and I wanted to make sure we had the dinghy and outboard working for an emergency. So alas, the boys bummed a ride from a passing boat, and after some time alone and spreading some of Patrick's ashes in our spot, I too went ashore with another YouTuber out chasing stars, who I met in South Africa, or maybe even before that. Unfortunately, no camera was brought ashore, and this is my only photo of being on land there. So we are leaving beautiful Ragged Island where I finished my circumnavigation. You can see it just back there in the background. We're leaving. Just had a last phone call actually with Michael, who is just about to leave Brazil, or just about to leave Recife and go to Fernando. And both of us will make landfall on Friday or Saturday. So yeah, Michael and I still talking, still friends. Yeah, we're taking off and trying to pick our way through a few coral heads, but I think we're through the worst of them. And yep, we are going to Florida. Oh my God, Brick House and Rebecca in Florida in the US. Not sure that's gonna work, but we'll see. It'll be good to relax. Yeah, it'll be really good to relax for a bit. So here we are sailing, and when we sail, you know, we have the dinghy tied off here, the dinghy tied off here, and then we have jack lines underneath that go back the length of the boat to hook harnesses on. In case we start going, you know, pounding into seas, we have the little, this, you can see that, the little harness on to keep it from bumping up and down. And then we have it all tied off here, just in case. Ask me how I know that. We had a hired captain 20 years ago to bring the boat up to Rhode Island, and he forgot to do that, and the anchor fell over just enough to bang a hole inside the boat.
Doesn't get much better than this. Cruising across turquoise water at 5 knots, no waves, gentle breeze. Very idyllic. Hard to want to leave.
How about you, Josh?
I concur.
We had a perfect window to go, so we went, and we had such a peaceful ride all the way up to Florida. Thank you, Predict Wind. Couldn't have done it without you. Each morning and each night, the sun would display all of its glorious colors, and we sailed along almost as if in a lake. But we were carried away by the north-flowing Gulf Stream the closer to Florida we got. It was as though Brick House could smell the barn, and it just made her run for it. I mean, I don't think we had over 10 knots the whole way. Yet, Brick House steamed along at 6, 7, 8 knots with that Gulf Stream. I could smell the barn too. The Raymarine autopilot did 95% of the steering from Grenada. Being close to land, I was not comfortable letting everybody use the monitor wind vane, just steering by the wind in case of a wind shift. But of course, it was always standing by, ready to help out. Really the MVP on our boat. Been out here on my watch tonight, writing a chapter for my book. I don't know which chapter, just kind of haphazardly writing chapters. Speeding along nicely here at, how fast are we going? Oh, 7.2, 7.3, with just 11, 12 knots of wind. And that's because we're in the Gulf Stream. 7.4. It's a nice speed to be going. So brilliant. Trying to write my book. The sun is coming up down below. The two boys sleep down below. It's as though Brick House wants to provide the very bestest of sails in my approach to the U.S. It's as though she knows what we have done together and wants to convince me that we should cross another ocean, go sailing some more. Finally, I figured out how to have cruise successfully. I'm almost having fun. I'm feeling more relaxed, if for no other reason than I know I've circumnavigated now. If the boat goes down right now, well, I've done it. The circumnavigation is finished. But I love this boat, and we should keep sailing, shouldn't we? I mean, everything is performed so perfectly. All of my hard work maintaining her and preparing her has paid off. One thing broke, the wind generator from a silly crew putting a fishing pole in it. Even that's repairable. I love this boat. I love that we've been around the world together. She's always been much stronger and more eager and able than me. Maybe we should plan to cross another ocean together soon. What do you think?
So, just about the end of my watch now. I had 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., so you can see the sun's coming up. And having a nice sail. The wind is light, 10 or 12 knots, sometimes 8 or 9 knots. And we're going like pretty fast. Like we're going 7.1. That's backwards. 9.9 knots of wind. It's a nice day in the Gulf Stream. Nice day to spread some ashes. We're about 25 miles east of the Florida Keys, the upper Florida Keys, approaching Miami and the Florida coast. We have about 120 miles to go until our destination, so we should get there probably in the middle of the night tonight. Not the best planning, but so many variables when you plan a 4 or 5 day passage. You never know if you're going to arrive during the day or during the night. And Patrick would love to swim around the Gulf Stream with the turtles and the eddies and the counter eddies. He was always enjoying the Gulf Stream and all the eddies and planning his passages on those even more than the wind. So it's a good place for him to swim around for an eternity, or sink to the bottom and look up at all the turtles swimming around every year. Either way, good place to spread ashes and a nice day to do it. Good morning. 8.2 and 9.7 knots of wind. 9 knots of wind. Oh, went down to 8.3. 9.2 knots of wind. 9 knots of wind. Oh, went down to 8.2.
This right here is Miami. Patrick wasn't born here, but this is where a lot of his boat building and learning and interest happened as a child. He crossed these waters many times to Bimini, telling his parents only that he was camping in the islands for the weekend. Surely they thought the islands were those in Biscayne Bay, Miami, not across a potentially fatal ocean. This is where I'm going to spread a lot of his ashes, not because it started here, but because he was so fond of strategizing in the Gulf Stream, using the currents even more than the winds to plan his passages, even into his 60s as a delivery captain. He loved it. He loved the turtles who would use the Gulf Stream for their whole life cycle. He loved the colors and the warm water in it. He even loved the giant waves that the wind opposing the current could toss up for him suddenly, and showing crew how to deal with all that. This is where so much knowledge and competency began for Patrick, so it's here that I spread his ashes. Sailing, what he loved most in his whole life. Sailing.
Only in Florida.
Coming back into America was truly daunting for me. A foreign land that I sort of remembered but had not really been part of for 16 years. It was just so very fitting that David Hoy and his wife Joanne guided me into my mooring at midnight.
These great balloons. David Hoy and Joanne Hoy put on the mooring for us, and then we took it back off the mooring. Congratulations, celebrate.
David had been a support to me since I lost Patrick, part of my YouTube family. And for a South African to welcome me back into the US, after so many South Africans in South Africa had supported me so fully when I lost Patrick, I just knew I was in good hands. I knew I could trust him,
And being received into West Palm Beach by them was just amazing.
Look at this cake. It's Monty's birthday in 2 days.
Birthday.
And it's my birthday 3 or 4 days ago or something. And Joshua here, he has made this
Don't look too closely.
cake. Let's take a closer look.
Oh, okay.
That's boat cake.
That's
That's
boat
what
cake.
happens in a boat oven.
Now,
And that's how you know it's authentic.
it's not the cake. The cake came from a mix, but that frosting is very special. An old family recipe. We have this original chocolate.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
All right,
Cocoa powder.
mix that up.
Africa.
Mix that up with some coffee and some coconut oil
And some
and
aged Kahlua.
and
A mocha.
Right.
You
And-
really did put Kahlua in it.
and cream cheese.
Wow.
So it's a mocha
Beautiful.
cream cheese frosting.
Wow.
sounds
Look at, take
delicious.
another closer look at
So
that.
too bad you guys can't taste it.
That's what
Gonna
that
be
looks
up all
like.
night.
Yeah. Not on the silver screen.
Yeah. Oh my God. You guys saved my day. Seriously. First, Joshua came along and saved the
Oh,
day
that's
with
me.
his competence and his great personality
Thank
and
you,
his
thank you.
unbelievable personality and cooperativeness and just wonderfulness. And mandolin playing. And then Monty came along and he was like the frosting on the cake and it made it all good.
And he's mocha.
And even fixed the fucking outboard.
Of course, since I was in West Palm Beach for over a month, crew went home and I had to find new crews. So here they are.
So on our left is David too.
Hey,
And David, where are you from?
I forget Maine, coast of Maine, mid-coast.
And how long you been sailing?
Decades.
Decades. All right, we'll leave it at
Many.
that. And this is David 1.
Boy. I'm originally from South Africa, but living in West Palm Beach now on my boat. Got a Catalina 470. Rebecca was on a mooring next to us for the last 6 weeks or so. And my wife and I got to know her and became good friends. And she asked if I'd help sail it. And I sailed the boat up to Brunswick and I said, more than happy to.
Yay. And how did you come across me?
Yeah, OPO. I saw they had you looking for a crew, and it was I just checked into it and listened to all your videos and stuff, and I said, well, isn't a trip of wood, and I'd like to know.
Not so crazy that you'd actually get in a boat and go to sea with me, huh?
Came down here sight unseen and having a great time.
Okay, good. Well, we're only 2 miles offshore, so never say never.
Jury's still out.
Hey, I like that hat.
Nice hat.
It's a good hat.
Tells us a lot of good things.
Yes. Do you have your Palm Beach? Take off that sunglasses. Look at his hat. That's where I just came from. Right there.
Palm Beach.
Leaving West Palm Beach. We are going up the coast. We're gonna go to Cape Canaveral, riding the Gulf Stream to Jacksonville and Brunswick. Having a nice sail of it. No mainsail, limit turn. Gonna be kind of going downwind, maybe not. Florida. We want to get far away. We don't want to end up on the beach. In my happy spot. Downwind.
You look very relaxed.
Are you okay, Birdie? Are you gonna live through the night? I know it's quite windy. Why don't you come into the cockpit where it's a little bit more protected?
I didn't love our weather window from Florida to Georgia, but decided to go for it anyways. Gosh, we encountered a lot of electrical storms, just as PredictWind suggested. But we managed to steer around them and not die.
We're just motoring, as you can probably hear, and we're gonna get to the mouth of the Brunswick River, the St. Simon's Island, probably at 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, right after the maximum flow against us. And so we'll probably be going up the river at like 2 or 3 knots. And it's 14 miles up the river to Brunswick Landing Marina. I'm probably gonna get there at like midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not gonna be very fun. I'm not a very popular captain right now. We want the boat to go faster.
We are coming into St. Simon's Sound. Boat's not too having you guys. It was so much fun.
It was. Yeah, it was fun.
It really was.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Bye now.
There he goes, walking away just like that. They come and they go so quick around here. Look at my cockpit, it's all clean. There's David, dedicated and giving her a freshwater bath. She's such a happy
David
boat right
Hoy,
now.
David number one's wife, Joanne, good friend, both of them. She drove up to coordinate to get there just about the time we got there to pick up her husband. Thank you, Joanne, for the loan, and thank you for driving all the way up here to get him and make this trip possible. He was a great crew. Thank you so much.
So I'm cleaning all of these windows with this old stuff that I have. No, they're not a sponsor. Strata Glass Protective Cleaner. This stuff on, you can't even read the name of it anymore, but that's the stuff to polish it and protect it from the sun. Taking care of my Strata Glass on my beautiful Heart Dodger. These windows, this one and that one, are newly rehabbed with Joanne Hoy down in West Palm Beach. She did a great job. They fit the first time. How often does that help her? Not cheap, but very good job. Thank you, Joanne in West Palm Beach. Look her up. She's on a boat called Rising Sun, David One's wife. So look them up if you go to West Palm Beach if you need any canvas done. Look at how nice and clean they are now. How often do you just get to do that? Just run water down the drain. But what I'm trying to do is just run the old water that I paid so much money to put in the tank. Trying to run it all out of the tank so I can just put fresher water in so it doesn't get all swampy smelling. And I've been trying to rinse the water into the bilge. Yeah, just trying to get this boat cleaned up.
Brunswick Landing Marina. The reason that I brought the boat to Brunswick Landing Marina was because of its excellent protection from hurricanes. I examined patterns of hurricanes the last 20 years and they seem to just miss Brunswick for the most part. I also chose the marina because overwhelmingly when I asked on Facebook and other places, Brunswick Landing Marina was the place that really checks all the boxes and stands out to all the cruisers. Free parking for my new-to-me car, free laundry, a fantastic well-attended happy hour with free wine and beer 3 nights a week, receiving of mail and packages with a smile, delicious free coffee on tap all day, walking distance to the best part of Brunswick, live aboard cruisers with a real sense of community, great fast Wi-Fi, constant upgrades to the facility. That's why I've come. That's why I'll stay for at least the hurricane season, if not longer.
So here we are moving the boat to Rebecca's slip. We'll be away from home for a while.
First time in 20 years going into a slip for me.
Oh, and last night she aced the docking. Aced it.
Got lucky.
This is Brunswick Landing Marina.
Like I said, I'm still cleaning it up. This gives you an idea of what it looks like when it's not so cleaned up. There's the air conditioner in the front that I have. And that is negotiable. I'll leave it in here for when you're cleaning. So that just pass it. Now, as I have finished my circumnavigation, you know, it's time for me to get going onto something else. You know, I don't want to cruise the east coast of the U.S. in a brick house. If I go over to Europe, I have to leave Europe in 18 months or I have to import her, and there's no way that I can do that. And I don't want to be forced to have to sail someplace else. I want to be able to stay wherever I might go. And also, South America is just a little too adventurous on my own. So, yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye to Brick House, I think. Yeah, I've got an RV now, and
she needs my money now and my time. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move on to RVing for a few years, see how I like that lifestyle. If I don't, I can always get another boat, right? Maybe not another brick house, but I can always get another boat. Hey, it's not like I didn't think about it ahead of time, but now I'm parking a boat until I sell it, and I'm parking an RV, and geez, it's mighty expensive. So if you have a driveway or a piece of land or part of a yard for a few days, a week, a month on my way by, that would be a huge help. So either private message me or leave a message down below with your contact information and I'll message you. Okay, that would be great. That'd be fun. All right, talk to you. Bye.
And certainly if you're looking for a boat that can go around the world right now, all you have to do is put some fresh vegetables on it, some canned food, some water, and some provisions, and you'll be ready to cross an ocean tomorrow. I swear to God, she's ready to go, and she's taken us around the world. She can take you around the world too. So here's my broker's information. Give them a call, set up a showing. You will not be disappointed. This is the best boat in the world for ocean voyaging.